Excellent, guys. We'll get started. Okay. Just to start off, welcome. Okay. Today's webinar, we're here to discuss keeping in contact with the right contact. My name is Simon, and the panelist for today is Alex. In today's session, we're going to cover understand the various sources of contacts added in AgentBox, methods on how to communicate with the single contact, mass communication towards a specific contact class, and how to follow with hot leads and buyers. We'll round it off with running reports to see the successful contact communication. There is assumed knowledge upon how to add and to do a basic search on contacts within AgentBox. If you have any questions during the session, please use the chat box on the Zoom panel and Alex will aid you in answering the questions. We'll also be launching a poll throughout the session and we can hear feedback directly from you. So let's start in AgentBox. There are various methods. There's various methods of a contact to be added and depends on the contact type or class. Some sources of a contact can be added are leads capture, an inspection attendee, inquiries, and a manual search and add. I'll close the PowerPoint presentation. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to look at within AgentBox, how to make an inquiry for a property type. We search by looking for a contact within AgentBox. So I'm going to pick up my contact, Paul Allen. Put in the chat if you know where Paul Allen comes from for Alex to know. We can search the contact within AgentBox. From here, we go to the contact card tab. And if we scroll down, we can also see the contact class and the type of contact that is in the system. We can add or we can change or remove the existing contact class. We can also look further down and we can explore if we can add or change the subscription method. So for this contact, they are subscribed to our newsletters and property updates. If they have made a phone call to make the inquiry, we can log the call by looking at the top and using the phone receiver to log our call. And if they have made some changes or updates to their buyer requirements, we simply go to the requirements tab and see what is available at the moment. So there's a couple of changes we can do or update if needed. The first thing we can do is I'm going to be looking at the townhouse that I've got listed for requirement 2 and requirement 4. And if I need to edit or update, I can just go to the edit requirement and I can simply change the requirement. So in this example, I will put in the new suburb of Telopia and I'll save those changes. Since I've made the changes, I can delete the requirement of this particular townhouse. So we can always keep in contact with the relevant requirements for this contact. We can also add a new requirement if there is less than 4. After adding a buyer requirement, we can explore buyer match, which will open a panel on the right-hand side. From these are all the properties that match the requirements for this particular contact. From these requirements, we can send an e-newsletter, which is the E with the piece of paper, on listings we have on offer. I will put in these requirements. So I'll put in a subject line. Make sure I spell it correctly. And from here, we have our current listings that we're targeting to our particular contact. I'll go into the top, which is the intro bubble, and I can put in an introductory blurb to express the e-newsletter's purpose. Once I hit save, it will update my details. These are the current listings that match his requirements. Additionally, I can add a section, which is going to be quick links, call to action. And then I hit add. From there, I'm going to add the buttons and the links. So for example, they can call me, they can email me, and they can finally have a web page that they can actually explore more information about myself or the business. So when I scroll down to the bottom, I have these quick links. Once I've completed my e-newsletter, I can send and confirm that I am sending it now to my singular contact. And that's one way we can effectively communicate with my particular contact. So let's say you wish to contact multiple contacts of the same category, a collective group of contacts, as you say. So to do that, we're going to close the contact card and we're going to go down to contacts on the main menu. And I'm going to go through advanced search. From here, I'm going to include the contact class of prospective buyer. And I want to make sure they have the subscription to e-newsletters, as well as if they have any property updates. If they've got any requirements that I'm particularly looking for, I can put that in as well. So what I'm going to do then is I'm also going to look at any contacts that are created within this calendar year thus far. And I'll hit search. These are my contacts that I have. Now, if I'm satisfied with these contacts, I can go back to refine search and I can save the search. I'll call it my prospective buyers. And when I hit search, it's going to remember as one of my save search options, which is going to be on the left-hand panel as an option available. So what happens is after that, I can do a few things to communicate with them. First thing I could possibly do is I could do an SMS in bulk for all these particular contact classes. So for example, I can send that out and it's going to be according to SMS credits that we have within the AgentBox system. Now, in this case, I will just do an e-newsletter. I can just proceed and then I can put in, for example, property update in local area. And I'll tick all my prospective buyers. Now, I can see that there's 59 records, but there are 64 contacts. That could be due to not having all the email addresses for all the contacts within the list that I've actually searched for. But I will save and proceed. And what I can do from there is I'll just add my e-newsletter as we've done before. Alternatively, we can actually go through and do a refined search, and we can actually make a change to the search criteria. A good example could be, instead of prospective buyer, we can put in a prospective vendor. And let's look at our vendors of how we can communicate with them. I'll keep it to the most recent time, which is this year, and do a search. Now you can see there's only 3 of them available, which is perfectly fine. And from here, I can do a mass email, and I can select my template to do a complimentary health check. And I can communicate all 3 of them and let them know about the health check. Keep those prospective vendors warm within our system. Another way we can do it, since it's a bit less, is we can actually go to the printer icon and we can actually print our contacts. Now I'm going to do a contact/call list. And from here, we'll be able to see all the contacts, and we can print this sheet out or save the sheet on one page and give them a call to see their thoughts upon it. Once we've done that, we can go back to refined search, and we can actually save this as our vendors. And once we hit search again, that's going to be saved. This is a couple of examples of how to reach out many contacts at the same time via contact class, such as prospective buyers or vendors. But you can see there is various filters to reach out to the right contact for mass communication, such as a requirement search. So that is a broadcast of the net. Now, after running a few newsletters and reaching out to our contacts, we can actually contact our buyers once we've recently sold a property. So where we can go is we go back to our dashboard and we go to unconditional for recently sold property. So I'm going to pick one from the listing that I've got here today. And from here, I'm going to go to contact offer/contracts and see the successful purchaser, which was in this case, Leon. Under Leon, I'm going to click on his name under selected buyers. And I'm going to update his contact information. So I'm going to go to his contact card to begin with as a start. And I'm going to remove him as a prospective buyer. Additionally, I'll go to his requirements and remove his buying requirements due to being a recent purchaser. After we've updated our contact information, we can close that and we can look at our warm leads or our hot buyers that are still interested but have missed out on this said listing. To do that, we go to full view on the top right-hand corner of this window of the property. Then we go to our prospective buyers. I want to contacts and follow up of the buyers to get this spreadsheet of all the prospective buyers for the recently sold property. From here, I can see the interest of warm, hot, or cold that I've done throughout the campaign of selling this property. I'm only keen on warm or hot buyers that I found within the campaign. So I go to the top where the filters are, and I go to hot and warm. Once I've done that, I've reduced my listing of prospective buyers down to the interested parties that I found through the campaign. From here, we can do the same thing as we did when we did a contact search. We can send emails or SMSs to them, but we can also do an e-newsletter like we've done before. Now with this e-newsletter, I can save and proceed. I'm going to select everyone except for Leon since he just bought the property. And from here, I'm going to let them know that the property has recently been sold, that they've inspected with interest. Now, what I can do with this e-newsletter is I can add a blurb of a greeting message, but I'll remove that section. And I'll click into the feature property. Instead of calling it feature property, I'm going to mark it as just sold. So I'm informing my prospective buyers that this listing that they had interest in has been sold. However, I'm going to add a section and I'm going to add my current listings. With the current listings, I have all the agents' listings within Agent Box, but I want to refine it to the listings that I am currently assigned. From all the listings I've got assigned, I can actually select the listings that are probably of interest of these people. So, for example, they may not be interested in houses since they've recently purchased a villa, inspected a villa. And these project listings I've got, I'll get rid of the duplicate ones. Once I've got the targeted properties, I'll hit save. And the final section I will then add is quick ads and call to action, where I can put my contact details like we did earlier today. So I'm going to have my phone number, my email, and a link to our webpage. So what I'm going to advertise for these people that have missed out on the prospect property, a property for them, is yes, we have sold the said listing. However, there are similar listings that may fit your criteria. And anything that interests them, they are welcome to contact me using the fast link buttons. And once I've done that, I can just send that away. So what we've done is we've ran some newsletters, and we've actually sent out an email as well, just to show the success of reaching out to the right contact. So what we can do now is after we've sent it out and after a couple of days or even a couple of hours, we can explore how successful our communication was. To do that, I'm just going to close my listing that I've got here and go to the main menu and go to the pie chart which says reports. From reports, I'll start off with the emails that we have sent out. So I'll go to general reports and select the one called email report. I want to see all the emails that have been sent off as of this year. So I'll start from the beginning of the year to date and the type of emails we sent out, such as emails manually sent out, what are emails and newsletters. I'll look at emails to start with. and I'll be able to see what has been sent out and who has sent them out. Now, since we're mostly done e-newsletters, I can just go refine search and go to e-newsletters and do a search that way. I'll be able to see what's been sent out and by whom. So I can use this example I've got here pretty recently. And this one here that I've highlighted, I can see I've sent it out to 155 contacts. Now, this is a training system, so therefore it doesn't effectively be sent out. It doesn't actually get sent out because of our limitation on the training system, as well as we don't actually put real email addresses for most of our contacts. So it doesn't technically hit an inbox for particular people, but it will register in Agent Box that we have actually sent them out. But what we can see is it has been sent and none of them been opened because of those email addresses and the limitation of the database, and what's been clicked and what's been bounced. If you want more details upon that, we can actually go to the pie chart on the right-hand side, and we can actually see who opened it, who clicked on it, and which emails bounced. There'll be more information given here for in your database. That's determining the success of sending these emails out. We can also see what has been created. Now, if I go to the subtab of contact reports, and I can look at contact created report, what has been created. Now, I'm going to run this for the year, and I'll run it for the entire office to compare other staff members and hit search. From here, I can see every staff member of their success. So I'll pick on myself for today. And I can see for 2025, I've already created 77 contacts. And I've made some modifications or updates to other contacts. And I can also see what requirements I've added for those contacts as well. The active contacts I've interacted with and ones with actual email addresses. So I can see the ratio or portions and any search requirements as well. I think the key point as well is if there's any that have been unsubscribed. So if I look at Ricardo or Ben Johnson, there's been a couple of unsubscribed contacts for them. And if there has been unsubscribed, we can go to contact unsubscribe report. And I can run that for the period of 2023 to today. I don't see any form of unsubscriptions. You can actually pick the staff members if required, such as Ricardo or Tom. But I'll hit search and I'll see everyone that's been unsubscribed within that time frame. So I can pick on someone like Shay, and I can see that Shay has been unsubscribed to our newsletters and property updates. If it's blank, like the one at the top here, that means that she has been marked manually as a do not contact. So therefore, she will not be subscribed to anything. Speaking of which, we have a whole bunch of subscriptions or unsubscriptions. We can also look at the contact class. What type of contacts are we adding in the database? And I'll do it for 2025, and I'll do a search. I can see the type of contacts we're adding, majority of which is a prospective buyer. We can also see that there's different classes and different types in ascending order. The final one I'll be doing is a contact source report. How are we reaching out and finding these contacts? We can add the year that they're doing it. So I'm going to stick to 2025. And we can actually appoint a staff member this time as an example. If you want to save this search filter, we can go to save report and we can put in contacts, for example, or Simon's contacts, and then do a search. We can see with this report statistically that more than 3/4 of the contacts I'm reaching out in is open homes. I can see some phone inquiries, and then we've got some unknowns in here. What are unknowns? Or how does unknowns come into the system? Unknowns come due to we haven't set our config that it's mandatory to have a contact source every time we're entering a contact. But we can also see that the more open homes I get, the more contacts are coming in. And the more contacts I have, the more opportunity I have to reach out for people of prospective of homes for sale. So what we've got now is if there's any help or support that's required of what we've done thus far after today, you can go to the bottom right hand corner where the question mark is, and that is help and support. You can reach our support team with I have a problem with my system, but you can also go into I need help doing something, which has access to our user manual, any training videos. You can book a training session remotely or on site, or you can actually go for our academy course, which is online learning. So what we're going to be doing that. So reflecting on what we explored today, there are several methods and strategies in keeping contact with contacts that are entered within AsiaBox. Some methods of reaching a contact was an individual contact with an inquiry, bulk communication to contact classes, targeting. Sorry, guys, did I just drop out? Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, let me try and get the screen back up for you. All right, I'm still there, right? So what I was basically saying, guys, sorry about that, is some methods of reaching contact was an individual contact with an inquiry, bulk communication to contact classes, targeting hot buyers, and running various contact reports on communication success.